lot of pastors are going to hell. I think that's what the movie is calling out. If I give 10% of my income to the church, man, I'm trying to see a magic trick or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Could you imagine the homeless people cosplaying as preachers?
Man, they get a lot of money. They get a lot of donations.
Some of the pastors, when they die,
yeah,
the floor just gonna open up from under them. They ain't getting a trial or nothing.
Expedited shipping, man.
Now I'm here with the truth juice today.
Yeah, we got truth juice.
I'm gonna need the truth juice, man, to call out the hypocrisy of the church. But before I do that, I wanna open some time for compliments and complaints.
Yeah, I think we should start with complaints first. I think this is a really good movie, so I don't think there's too many complaints that either of us had, so I think it's best to get into complaints first. I think my main complaint is there's too many characters, and because of that, there's too much exposition when they can just show us who these characters are. Especially when, I'll just name the most useless character, the writer. I don't even know his name. He serves no purpose to the plot whatsoever. He's literally just there to throw you off more.
Right.
And I'm not sure if that's necessarily needed. You could have taken his character out. I don't think you could take many of the other characters out, but the writer is literally useless. I mean, like, name one thing that he does for the plot.
I can't.
Exactly. I mean, he is a useless character. Everybody else at least has something to do with the movie to progress the plot.
Yeah. I get you there, man. I'm going to say that my biggest complaint is I think the killer is too obvious. Yeah. Like, right out the gate, I'm like, Martha killed this motherfucker, man.
That's what I thought, too.
I know it because, first of all, she's too present. Yeah. She's in every important scene in the movie. She's the only character we see witness the death of the original preacher. Yeah. And witness Grace tear up the church.
Yeah. They gave her so much more than every other character. They gave her, the doctor, and the paralyzed woman, they gave them Wikipedia pages, and they gave every other character just like a LinkedIn page. They basically gave them nothing to work with.
I do think this movie focuses more on the how than the who. Right? It's more interesting to understand how they killed Father Wick than who did it.
Right.
So personally, that's what kept me engaged. So I ain't gonna knock it too much for that.
I agree. It's definitely more about the how did they kill him instead of why or who.
What you got for compliments, man?
My compliments is, I think that I have two. I think my first one is that the mystery keeps you engaged. I don't think I need to really go too much in depth with that. It's just, you know, the entire movie, you're just completely engaged. But my other one is, I think the cinematography is really good. There's so many frames where you're just like, man, this could win Picture of the Year. Yeah. Like when they're in that wooded area and Detective Blanc and the pastor are just standing there in the woods. It's a beautiful scene. And it makes me think about some of the other movies we've seen this year, specifically Eternity, that we've already talked about, and Highest to Lowest. Both of those were original Apple movies, and they're known for using iPhone cameras. And so they overuse portrait mode or blurred backgrounds to basically overcompensate for the fact that they just don't have good cameras. They don't let the background speak for itself. So that's probably my biggest compliment of this movie, is that they allowed the scene to speak. What about yours? What's your biggest compliment for this?
I think my biggest compliment is this movie does religious commentary the best way I've seen it done yet. A lot of religious movies fall into corny. Yeah. Where it's like, it's either they're super villainizing a religion or they're super villainizing atheism. Right. This movie strikes a balance.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Perfect balance.
Yeah.
You can't tell whether or not they are bashing it or if they're going with it. The main pastor, Wick, he really is just like the worst that the church has to offer. But our main protagonist, Duplessis, or whatever his name is.
Father Judd.
Right.
Yeah.
He is the best of what the church has to offer.
I love Father Judd.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
This movie isn't like those religious movies where people are praying for God to save their marriage or save their job or some shit like that.
And that's the whole point, the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah, like God don't answer them kind of prayers. We don't listen to shit like that. Your husband cheated on you 8 times.
Right.
Take a fucking hint. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You holding up the prayer lines.
Yeah.
His kids down here with cancer.
I mean, John 9 says God doesn't listen to sinners.
He doesn't. Do it say that for real?
John 9 says word for word that God does not, or John 1:9, I think, it says that God does not answer the prayers of sinners.
Shit.
You know?
Might be in trouble.
Might be in trouble. I can't really think of another movie that does religious commentary this well. Plays the balance of how good the church can be. Our main protagonist allegedly killed a man in the ring. I mean, his boxing skills may differ from that. But he turned to God. He turned to the church and really made an effort to make things better. And he really was just the best of what it had to offer. He was the only character that did not fall to greed.
I think this movie romanticizes the principles of Christianity while villainizing the church. This movie is saying, atheists, I see where you're coming from. Christians, I see where you're coming from. But the church, I don't know what the fuck y'all got going on.
Yeah, Wick, he literally brings back indulgences with the semi-paralyzed woman. Basically, it was like, you fork over all your money and God will heal your spine.
He'll heal you.
He'll heal you. You won't have any pain in your back anymore. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
And she's just dumb enough to believe that. And a lot of them are.
Man.
When you're faced with trauma, that's
what happens.
That's what happens. Wick reminds me, he's like less of a pastor or a priest and more of like an influencer. Psy is recording, he's basically rage baiting the whole time, and he's selling dreams to his fans. Like an influencer selling a product.
He represents the stronghold of the church. But Father Judd, on the other hand, he's a really good man.
Great
man.
Like
there's a scene in the movie where bro is literally running for his freedom. And he takes the time out of his day to take a call from a woman that I forgot, she like yelled at her mom with dementia or some shit like that.
Yeah, because like she had dementia and was saying wild stuff. And I really related to that scene because my grandma had the same thing. She had like brain cancer. And so she just said off the wall things that didn't make any sense and was, attacking us when she would never do that. And so I completely understand what she was going through and where you can get angry at some of the stuff that they're saying and you retaliate, but you just feel bad because you can't really get moments back like that. But Judd was there for her.
Right.
Judd was there to listen. He took hours. It was daytime whenever he took the call, and it was nighttime whenever he got off the call finally. Yeah. He sat there for hours listening to her, praying for her.
Literally that scene where he's running for his freedom, like a getaway slave, and he takes the time to talk to this woman. Yeah. I was like, man, this dude is a good guy.
Right. Like I really felt that scene that he basically threw away trying to prove himself innocent. Yeah. In order to, and after that phone call, he gave up the idea of trying to prove his innocence. After that, he told the detective, he was like, I'm done. This isn't what I'm here for. This isn't what my duty is. My duty is to be a priest and to help people. Yeah. And this is not helping anybody but myself.
Yeah.
He really was the best of, everybody.
But going back to the themes, I think one of the core topics or themes of this movie is greed.
Yeah.
Right? Like this movie talks about how greed corrupts the purest of people. Yeah. It corrupts pretty much all the members of the church.
Except for
for Father Judd.
Yeah.
And it even corrupts the pastor of the church. And this had me thinking, man, a lot of pastors are going to hell.
Yeah, probably. I
think hell gonna be full of pastors. Yeah. Kenneth Copeland,
he going to hell.
He for sure going to hell.
And I think that's really what he was based off of.
You think so? I think Kenneth Copeland-like character?
Loosely. You know, they literally start his very first words with Father Judd. He was doing a confession with Father Judd, and his first confession was he saw an ad for a Lexus car, and he was tempted by it. So it immediately started off with greed. Yeah. That was, they let you know right away, greed is the number one topic for this.
Greed.
It can taint anybody.
It can.
And it did.
Except for Father Judd.
And the movie made Martha seem like she was above it all. But if she really was above it all, she would have stopped at killing Father Wick. She wouldn't have devised an Ocean's 11 scheme in order to take it back. If she just stopped at Father Wick died, she knows that the stone is inside that tomb. There's no reason to bring it out except for the fact that she wants the riches for herself.
You think that's what it is? Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, like, what other reason? Why would you devise a plan like that if it wasn't to have it for herself? If she really wanted it to be gone from the church and so that the church wouldn't be corrupted by it, she would have left it in the tomb.
You're saying nobody would have ever found it?
Nobody would have ever found out.
If she didn't take it?
Never. I mean, name one person that was even remotely onto the case. Nobody was onto the case until she brought it up to the doctor.
Yeah, that is
She devised a plan with the doctor and her boyfriend, the gardener, in order to steal it back. And her reasoning was so that she can destroy it or whatever, but that doesn't even make any sense. Either that's a complete plot hole, or they purposely did that as a reason to show that she was also corrupted by greed.
What do you think about why she confessed to Father Wick where the stone was?
I think it's ego. I think she got called out. Basically, Father Judd was basically calling her out and saying that you're fake. You won't divulge your deepest and darkest secrets during confession. You won't do it because of who Father Wick was.
But why would you let a man that just came to the church break a 60-year secret?
I mean, that's a great question. I think maybe I would relate it to why would anybody get rage baited by anybody?
You think that's what it was, rage bait?
I don't think it's rage bait, but she got ego baited. She got baited somehow into divulging that information. She just got called out in front of a bunch of people and was like, I'm not going to stand for it. Maybe she also felt bad. She could have also, it could have been either she got baited or she really did feel bad that I'm not a good Christian because I'm not willing to confess my deepest secret. The whole scene was about how much she trusted Father Wick, but really she couldn't. That was why Judd called her out, is because you can't trust Father Wick. You know that there's something more to it, and she found out as soon as she told. He basically plotted to take everybody out with Cy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I thought that scene was weird too. I didn't really get it, but I figured that maybe it's just a symbol for her being blinded by indoctrination. She just can't get past the fact that Father Wick is really not a good guy.
No.
And this comes from those people who side with the pastor over the actual teachings of Christ.
Or the church over the teachings of Christ.
Yeah.
Just the church as a whole, the cult aspect of it. Yeah. I mean, it's, every Christian knows the history of Christianity and specifically Catholicism and what the church did, how corrupt they were during like Martin Luther's time, when they created indulgences and they basically preyed on the vulnerable. And they told everybody that basically you're too stupid to be able to read and interpret the Bible. And so we need people that are smarter and have been through the school to read it and interpret it for you. And when they did that, a bunch of people decided to just lie upon them, lie on the Bible so that they could profit.
That's how it works.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Father Wick did. He lied and told a bunch of people that if they did these certain things, they'd be saved, whether it's giving money or whatnot.
And that's another topic I want to bring up, man. How do so many people get tricked by the church? Like, how do you pay a guy thousands of dollars to interpret the most readily available book in the world?
Right. Back then, it made sense.
Back then,
it hadn't been.
Nobody could read.
Nobody could read, and it hadn't been translated yet. Not until Martin Luther translated it to German. So then I understand. But nowadays, you have no excuse.
Yeah. Don't really make sense.
Those people that are that follow Kenneth Copeland or that other mega church guy. I can't remember his name, but
yeah, I mean,
the likes of those. There's a lot of them. A lot of those mega church guys, they follow them. They give millions of dollars to those guys so that they can ride around in private jets.
Yeah. crazy.
It's
crazy
insane.
Concept.
It's insane.
Personally, me, man, I ain't trying to hear shit a pastor that get paid trying to say.
No.
Not at all, man.
No.
Because I'm like, why are you doing this?
Right.
Is it because you're getting paid? Or is it from your heart? You know, if the offering basket come up short, or you gonna run out the back door?
Do you think that pastors and priests should be getting money through offerings?
No, I don't. I think they should work a job like me and you. And I think Jesus would agree with me.
I do too.
You should give your money to the poor before you give it to your jet flying pastor.
Right.
A pastor getting paid, man, that's like a civil rights activist getting paid or some shit like that. You know,
think that they would have the time?
Stop doing it?
Do you think that they would have the time?
Absolutely, bro.
Well,
you're talking about 1 hour, if that, on Sunday.
Yeah.
Especially the white churches.
But let me play devil's advocate, I guess.
Let's hear it, man.
What about things like, well, it's not only just like one service. Like you probably have 2 to 3 services.
2 to 3?
On a Sunday. I mean, at least my church had.
What do they do?
Like they had a morning service and then a later service. So people that, you know, because you can't fit everybody into one church.
Well, if a guy gets paid, you got to find him some work to do.
Yeah.
Right.
But they also had Saturday service, Wednesday service. And then you also got to think of they're on call to basically go and visit the sick, the elderly that are in homes that are about to die. And also anytime that anybody has a wedding or a funeral, they're also doing that. And people die every day. I mean, maybe not at one church.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? If
they're
people
pretty
in the
often.
church was just dropping dead every day, bro, you got to think about what you're
nowadays, it's probably closer to that just because, I mean, more people are leaving the church that are younger. So most of the people that are still left in church are people that are going to be dying soon.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it. When you ask me, do I think that they could do it? I mean, my pastor does it.
Yeah.
He works a normal job. He do funerals and weddings and he visit people. I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
If it's in your heart,
Yeah.
you'll do it without getting paid.
That's very true.
I think maybe that's what the movie is calling out. These pastors, they ain't real pastors. You know, like
not doing it for the right
they really
reasons.
playing with God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they gotta go to hell.
Yeah.
I think they gotta go to hell. Some of the pastors, when they die, the floor just gonna open up from under them. They ain't getting a trial or nothing.
Expedited shipping, man.
Straight to hell.
Man, they don't get no court sentence. They straight ice. No, they getting sent back immediately. They said, you are not in the right place. You are not.
You ain't got no business here. And that's going to be a crazy concept to go to hell and see like all the famous pastors down there.
Right. And I'm thinking, you know, if I'm in line at the pearly gates and I see some of these guys, I'm snitching.
You got to tell them.
I'm telling. Hey,
you got to tell.
Hey, God, hey.
This guy was down here lying.
Man, he's deceiving.
You know, telling the people the oil that he was selling was going to heal them. He pushing people out of wheelchairs and shit.
Right. And taking their money. And getting paid $80,000 a year to preach.
More than that, man. I looked up Kenneth Copeland net worth, man. It's like in the hundreds of millions.
Oh, for sure for him. But even these regular churches, like with the LCMS, I mean, I'm not sure how much they actually make, but they get paid well. I don't want to say a specific number. I'm not a pocket watcher here, but you know what I'm saying?
Pocket watching the pastor.
But I mean, I know some pastors that have gotten free cars paid for by the church. So that, and their reasoning is, well, the pastor's got to drive to the got to drive to the sick and elderly places.
Let me tell you something, man. My job has never bought me a car.
Not me. Not me. I took out a loan.
That's what I'm saying. Like a normal person.
Yeah.
What's going on with these pastors, man?
And they don't pay taxes.
That's true.
They're tax exempt. Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting paid like crazy. You know, the church is getting paid.
And a lot of people fall for the indoctrination, man.
Yeah.
And I think it works because a lot of people are just poor. They having a bad life.
Right.
And if you tell somebody, man, if you pay this certain amount of money, you can get into heaven.
Right.
How many poor people wouldn't do that?
I'm pretty sure my dad told me like 10%
Yeah, 10%.
Of your 10% of your earnings goes to the church. I'm like, 10%?
10%. That's a lot, bro.
That's a lot. Today?
That's a lot of money.
Bro, I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. I ain't got 10% to give to the church.
Yeah, if I give 10% of my income to the church, man, I'm trying to see a magic trick or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I want to see something spectacular happen for 10%.
Right.
The guys that say the homeless people need to get out and get a job, why don't they pass that same judgment to the pastor?
Right.
They denying the homeless people $1.
Yeah.
Then they giving 10% of their income to the pastor of their church. Now I can understand if the tithing is only used to sustain the church. But man, if you drive a Toyota,
right,
and you paying 10% of your income so your pastor can drive a Bentley,
yeah,
what are you doing?
No, you know, like that's ridiculous.
It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I would advise the homeless people to go to Spirit Halloween.
Yeah.
Get them a priest costume. Get them a Bible, rough it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And get on the streets and cosplay as priests.
Make a lot of money doing that.
Could you imagine the homeless people cosplaying as preachers?
Man, they get a lot of money. They get a lot of donations.
They get a lot of money doing this shit,
and to start preaching to the people on the street. They probably get a few dollars.
You ever seen a homeless person cash a check?
You ever see a homeless man with a white collar? You know them white collar thing they be wearing?
A beat up Bible.
They start spitting out verses.
Damn.
I think these pastors, they prey on people's trauma. And that's how they get these donations.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure that's how they do it.
And how different these people cope with their trauma in this movie. The doctor goes into alcoholism after his wife leaves him.
Yeah, that does happen.
The near paralyzed girl turns to the church by giving her money. That's how she deals with her trauma. The Psy, he goes to social media and turning to politics as his form of dealing with his upbringing, not having parents, trying to make something of himself. The only one that really does it in a good way is Father Judd.
Yeah.
He turns to the church in a positive way to deal with his trauma of killing a man in his past, accidentally. And that's what these pastors in the church do a lot of times, the bad ones. I don't want to blanket statement everybody. There's a lot of good pastors.
There's some good ones out there.
A lot of good priests out there. But a lot of them prey on people's trauma.
They do. You ever seen that video of Kenneth Copeland trying to heal that man in a wheelchair?
I don't think so.
And he was like praying too hard and pushed him out the wheelchair, and the guy he's still in the wheelchair, bro, like on the ground, limp legs hanging off the side of the wheelchair.
It was not like that scene in the movie whenever, she gets up from the wheelchair. Martha's like, oh my gosh, you can walk. You can walk. She's like, I've been able to walk. It just hurts, Martha.
Yeah, that thing was funny.
That was probably the funniest scene in the movie, man. That was great. That was perfect. Because I thought that too. I thought that she was actually just paralyzed. So when she got up, I was kind of shocked too. I didn't know that
I didn't see her walk at all throughout the movie.
She was in a wheelchair the entire time, sitting down.
Why would even Martha not know she could walk? Like, she never seen her walk into church or nothing like that?
I guess not. I think we should start off by explaining what this game is, this new segment. So it's called Script or Scrap. Basically, it's a play on our name, the No Script Pod, but we're giving out ideas for the movie that we think could have been in the movie, and we're going to decide between the two of us whether it should have been written into the script or if it should be scrapped. Okay, so my first one, Script or Scrap, should Cy have been the secret love child of Father Wick and the ex-wife of the doctor? Could have it created...
He is a mixed guy, ain't he?
Yeah, he's a mixed guy. Yeah. Could have it created extra drama and another reason for who the killer might be. If they added that in, it would have been extra fuel for the doctor being the killer.
I like that. I'm going to go ahead and script it because that's the only black woman that doesn't really play a major role in the movie.
She's literally she's a service to add trauma for the doctor, make sure he's an alcoholic. Yeah. But it could have added so much more and taken nothing away.
That would have been good.
Yeah, man. That would have been pretty good. What about you? What's one of your first ones?
All right, let me give you this, man. Do you think this movie would have been funnier if it took place in a black church instead of a white church? And let me explain before I give it to you, right? I just think the white church is simple. You know, they do the little shit, they collect the offering, sing the hymn.
Yeah.
The pastor do a few lines and then church is over.
Right.
But I think the black church is a way more performative aspect of religion.
100%.
Yeah, like you see people passing out and shit. That shit funny.
Yeah.
I feel like this could have been like a Key and Peele skit.
That's what I was thinking, you know, when you just said that. I think it's a trade-off. Like, I think that if you write that in, it's going to be 100% funnier, but it's going to take away from how it relates to the old Catholic Church. And it's like taking a stand on that, not necessarily like a stand on the church, but just like how old the church was.
So this movie about the Catholics, you think?
Yeah, I think it's more so about like the history of the church. So that's the trade-off. But I'm thinking like, imagine you remember that the drunk player from Sinners? Like, I could see him as being the doctor, like him as in replaces like the alcoholic.
Or like a black
He would have been
preacher,
so
bro.
funny, so much funnier.
Way funnier,
But
bro.
even though I do think that Father Wick was extremely animated and would have played perfect in that role anyways.
Absolutely.
You know, he was perfect for his role.
I get it. But have you ever been to a black church?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple times. I went with Destiny a few times.
Okay.
You know,
What, like Unity?
No, not Unity. Her church.
Okay, because Unity, that's not.
No.
That's not really a black church.
No.
It's a church with black people in it.
Right.
A black church, like people pass out and
Yeah,
they sing all day.
You know,
and
it was a culture shock for sure when I went. For sure, I'm not gonna lie, it was a culture
Was you
shock.
the only white person in there?
I think so. Probably. If I had to guess.
The pastor probably had to censor himself that day, man.
Yeah, the pastor probably had to make sure he was, you know,
on his P's and Q's.
on his best behavior for the one white man that was in attendance.
You know, we're not used to white people being in the black church.
No.
So sometimes we talk about racism.
Right.
But like when a white person there, you gotta dial it down.
Tone it down a bit.
It's the
Maybe
house
be
of
a
the
bit more
Lord.
subtle, you know, with what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get that.
So scrap, man. You scrapping the idea.
No, I would script it if we're leaning more into comedy. But if you're trying to attack the idea of indoctrination of the church, I would scrap it because I don't think it lands as heavy as it would of a traditional Catholic church. So for my next script or scrap, what if the killer was Detective Blanc and they ended the trilogy by Detective Blanc feeding into his own ego, thinking that because he is the best detective in the world and can solve any case, he can create the perfect murder
and frame somebody else?
And get away with it as the only detective who could solve it.
That would be good.
Ending the trilogy on that.
That would be good.
I think that'd be pretty good.
There was a point in the movie where I thought they might have been going that route. Like when we get introduced to Benoit Blanc, he's actually criticizing religion.
Yeah.
Like he's talking
immediately.
From the perspective of an atheist. And I'm like, man, this is kind of weird from him. Like, you know, he's usually just like a detective.
Right.
He doesn't give much commentary on anything.
But I'm not too sure if it would have been better to do that because he is just the detective that solves the things. Who else would be solving the case?
Father Judd.
I guess you could put Father Judd
and
it really
Father
be a
Judd
Guns and Moses, you know, thing going on. You could have done that.
That would have been fun, man.
It would have been pretty fun.
That would have been an amazing twist.
Yeah.
Because the twist we got, man, I wouldn't even say it was really a twist. Like, I would have been more shocked if Martha had nothing to do with it, script or scrap.
Yeah.
Movies like this should premiere on Netflix, man. And let me explain it, right? Initially, I was pro-theater.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't want to ruin the theater experience.
Yeah.
But watching this at home, it was pretty cool, man. Like, I had some Chinese food. I had a mixed drink.
Right.
You know, I could pause the movie in between, figure out what's going on.
Right.
Rewind
and, you know miss a line or two.
Shit. But you can't do that in the theater.
I say script for this movie specifically.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, like mysteries specifically should be streaming.
You need to be able to go back.
Yeah.
Like I've watched clips from this movie over again.
Same.
Since I watched it.
Yeah. Same.
Let's do the rating, man. I'll let you go first. And then I'll go.
Let me take
and
a
then
sip
I'll let you close it out.
Yeah, man, let me take a sip of that truth juice first.
The truth juice. Gotta love it.
You know, before I came here, I was looking at my list. I moved around a lot of things. I was surprised to see that I had Zootopia 2 at number 2 on my list. I think that was a judgment. I was like, oh, okay, I need to move this down.
What is wrong with you?
Man, I moved it down to like 6 or 7.
Okay, I can get
You
with
know
that.
what I'm saying? But this movie, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think that it is a damn near perfect mystery movie. And I judge movies, 1, I judge them based off of how much I enjoyed them, but 2, I try to differentiate the genre. So this is a damn near perfect mystery movie, and so it's a 9 out of 10. What do you say?
I'm actually giving it a 9 out of 10 too.
Yeah.
You know, I think this movie is extremely engaging.
Yeah.
Like, even when you think you know what's going on, you don't.
Yeah.
You know, this is a movie about a man rising from the dead. You got a vat of acid. You got some date rape drugs.
Buddy's getting flipped like pancakes.
You got some shit going on in this movie, man, and you never know what's going to happen next.
Right.
They're my type of movies, man.
Yeah, it's my rating, 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Go see it.
Yeah, go
Wake
see
Up
it.
Dead, man, a Knives Out mystery on Netflix. Y'all got to go check it out, man.
Stream it. It's a must watch.
Yeah.
But if y'all enjoyed this episode, go ahead and leave a like or rating. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. But other than that, peace.